It is my belief the greatest challenge we have in our world today is to redefine masculinity. And it appears that men are under attack right now because we see stories of domestic abuse, sexual assault, the Me Too movement. We hear stories about toxic masculinity, which I don't believe there's such a thing. But all of these things on the surface looks like men are the bad guys. But I don't think men are the bad guys, and I definitely don't think men are the problem. The problem is too many men are trapped in what I'll call an antiquated paradigm of masculinity. And so the current state of masculinity is no longer sustainable because the world is changing rapidly. And it's driven by, women who are now, there are more women now in the workforce than men. There are more women going to college than men. So the roles are changing rapidly, and a lot of men are confused, and we don't know where we fit in or what we're supposed to do. Because traditionally, our jobs used to be to provide and protect. That's what we were supposed to do as men, right? Provide and protect. But unfortunately, what happened was we were never taught how to connect. And as men, I believe that's what we really long for. That's what we're hungry for. We're hungry for connection. And to connect, you must be in touch with your emotions, with your feelings. And that's a really difficult thing for most men to do. Because the old paradigm of masculinity taught us that, feelings were for women. And we were convinced that women were more emotional than men. And I'll say that's not true. I will assert that men have always been just as emotional as women. Unfortunately, we live in a culture that has conditioned men to believe that we aren't supposed to feel. And it is this inability or unwillingness to feel that keeps us as men from connecting, from creating connection. And so what we must be willing to do as men, and especially as men of color, is to embrace the idea that it's okay to be in touch with your emotions. It's okay to talk about how you feel. Because emotions are just energy in motion. That's all they are. They're just energy in motion. So they're not good or bad, right or wrong. It's just feeling that we have. But too many times as men, we operate from the neck up because we disconnect from our hearts. And so what we have to be willing to do as men is to connect to our hearts and recognize that we're given emotions for a reason. It's part of our humanity. And there's no shame in being able to authentically express how we feel. Because when we do that, then we experience life the way it was meant to be. We miss out on a large portion of life because we're disconnected from our interiority, our feelings, our thoughts, our beliefs. And so in this conversation, I'm challenging men to recognize the importance of creating this new paradigm of masculinity in which men are comfortable with who they are. They're comfortable expressing how they feel. They're allowing themselves to be vulnerable, to be sensitive, to be empathetic. Those are all inner states of being that we're all capable of, but we've been conditioned out of. So the concept of masculinity is simply evolving. And as men, we must evolve with these changing roles of manhood. And I believe when we do that, we will eradicate a large percentage of the social ills that currently plague our world. So I want to engage you in a conversation about masculinity. So my recommendation is that you pick up a copy of my new book, The Cure for Onlyness, A Black Man's Guide to Joy, Passion, and Purpose, to learn more and to dive deeper into this whole idea about what true masculinity really is. And so join the conversation. We are launching the hashtag OnlynessCure. So be sure and follow the hashtag OnlynessCure because I'm going to be sharing some insights that support and empower you to embrace this new paradigm of masculinity in which you become authentically male. And when you do so, you will become authentically happy. So Follow the hashtag #OnlynessCure. Pick up your copy of The Cure for Onlyness, a black man's guide to joy, passion, and purpose.